Now, this is the Meta Quest Pro, one of the most expensive headsets on the market right now. And in today's review, I will show you everything it can do, from demonstrating its face and eye tracking, its next level controllers, dive into foveated rendering, test how good its color pass-through is, and most importantly, if you should buy this headset for work or gaming. So full disclosure, I bought this headset myself, and it's good to know that I am not part of Meta's Ambassador program. With that being said, let's kick things off with the unboxing. Okay, let's first talk about the packaging. On the front we got the hardware rising up straight from the Metaverse, and as you can see, the Meta logo has officially made its entry, with a giant one staring right into your soul from the top, and on the back it tells you what's inside. Anyways, when we slide it open, we are being met with the Pro and its controllers. It comes in the same cardboard box as the Quest 2, giving it a cheap first impression. I mean, even the Oculus Rift DK1 came in a cool case, but hey, you quickly forget when you get to hold the beautiful Pro in your hands. It feels premium and gives a mature look, making clear this is not a toy. The front is overlaid with a dark tinted piece of plastic that houses the tech that not only lets you explore virtual, but also augmented reality, unlocking full color pass-through to explore the real world from a whole new perspective. We call this mixed reality. To balance out the 722 gram weighing Pro, the headset's battery is located in the rear, serving as a counterweight. To adjust the neck area, it has a knob in the back, a depth wheel in the front, and for comfort it makes use of silicone pads that are both detachable. The Halo strap is spring-loaded, meaning that it can mildly stretch when pulling it. For transferring data or streaming, it has a USB-C port on the left, and the speaker's volume and power buttons are all built in, with the finishing touch being headphone jacks on each side. When we check the back, we can find these fantastic looking pancake lenses. Gorgeous! This is also the place where your face and eyes get tracked and where you magnetically charge the headset. Before we move on to the controllers, it's good to know that the Quest Pro is mainly aimed towards enterprise. So we're talking businesses who want to expand on productivity and mixed reality for meetings, presentations, education, health, product design, architecture, and training purposes. See the Pro as a tool to experience and build stuff for the future so that they are ahead of the game when this headset's tech becomes the standard later down the road. And talking about games, since the Pro is Quest 2's big brother, it does actually run the latest and greatest titles, but hasn't been specifically designed for that purpose. For now, the Quest 2 will remain Meta's flagship for gamers till the Quest 3 comes out. You can buy the Pro for $1,500 in US dollars, $1,500 in British pounds, and a whopping $1,800 in euros thanks to inflation. By the way, that does not include the additional carry-on case, full light blockers for VR sessions, earphones, and link cable. I decided to pre-order the necessities and ended up paying nearly 1,970 euros. In my opinion, all of this should have been included in the box, especially the full light blockers. Now let's talk controllers. They come in matte black, have index finger sensing triggers, a pressure sensor, built-in batteries, stronger haptics, and has no large tracking rings. Instead, it uses IR cameras that track themselves. Regarding the battery life on both the headset and controllers, stay tuned. Moving on to the magnetic charging dock. It's compact and has an anti-slip service. It comes with a power supply, a USB Type-C cable, and an extra charging cable for one controller. Do they seriously expect you to charge one at a time when you are on the road or something? Again, for the price you pay, very confusing. Things that do come in the box are not full, but have light blockers that magnetically attach to the sides. Very useful, a cleaning cloth, the standard warranty and safety guides, 2 stylus tips, a cable clip, and a protective cover that you can slide over the front. The setup speaks for itself. You power up the headset, let the controllers automatically pair, and hook it up to the Wi-Fi. After that, you log into the Quest mobile app, and under Devices, select the Pro and give it a moment to connect. It will then give you a short introduction on how to adjust the Halo strap and lenses. This is being done by grabbing them with your fingers and moving them to the left and right. Thanks to the eye tracking, it can tell your exact IPD, but I honestly expected something fully motorized for 1,800 euros. The stated IPD is 55 to 75 millimeters, but inside the headset, mine only goes from 59 to 71. On the spec sheet, Meta says that the value is based on the clearest spots of the lenses, but it's still weird that this varies degrees per device. Okay, well, let's set up the Guardian. With a headset like this, you expect it to be aware of your surroundings and scan everything in your room automatically, but you still have to do it yourself. Although it is a slightly smoother process thanks to the color pass-through and new controller tracking. When done, you arrive in the Quest Pro's new home environment. The menu and settings look almost identical to that of the Quest 2, with classic options such as casting the Pro to a mobile device, bringing your couch or desk into VR, using hand tracking instead of the controllers, and double tapping the side of the headset to activate its pass-through. In quick settings, things start to look a little different. There's a feature that lets you now use the menu in combination with full color pass-through, and 2 buttons that pause the face and eye tracking for privacy. Enough of the menu, let's dive into the comfort. The Pro is heavier than the Quest 2, but since its battery sits in the rear, it's far more balanced than the standard soft strap. Putting it on is simple. You pull the strap, put it over your head, and use the knob on the back to tighten it up. There is also this so-called depth wheel that pushes the front face pad in or out, bringing your eyes closer to the lenses. Personally, the sturdy shape of this front pad doesn't fit me well and isn't very comfy, resulting into my forehead becoming the main pressure point of the entire headset. This causes the headset to loosely sit on your face, making it wobble, shift, not sit straight, and even makes the IPD numbers jump, having to constantly adjust them. Overall, I find it hard to use for more than an hour before it distracts me from my work focus and creativity, making me want to go back to just a traditional screen. There is actually a calibration setup available that tells you how to wear it, but it does not do the trick for me. I think what could have made the difference here were different size and softer pads, the option to tilt the headset in the front, an overhead strap of course, maybe a nose piece like the HoloLens has, or a hard plastic face cover with cushion for cheekbone support. But this partly defeats the purpose of its open design for mixed reality. What I'm missing too is a flip-up visor like the Lynx R1 has, Pro's competitor. This is most useful when you are doing work alone or together with other colleagues who don't have a Pro, as it lets you easily hop in and out of the virtual world. Okay, let's talk light blockers then. They are actually quite nice, but they don't block out the light from underneath. Handy for when you want to look at your phone or have a sense of your surroundings during pass-through, but completely suck when you want to be fully immersed in VR. For that you really want to get the full light blockers, or maybe not. As mine are in pre-order, I can't share my personal experience, but from my YouTube colleague JBrad, who did a fantastic deep dive, reported that it still bleeds light into your displays. So I guess we have to wait for a third-party company to make a complete range of actual solid accessories. Before I forget, wearing the headset with a pair of glasses is no problemo. It's pretty mind-blowing that specs-wise, you don't even seem to get that much of an upgrade either. The Pro uses a Snapdragon XR2 Plus, 12 gigs of RAM, and the resolution seems to be similar to that of its little brother, with it still using LCD displays running on 72 and 90 Hz. The only thing that stands out is the field of view. It's a noticeable improvement over the Quest 2, and as an extra, does do mini LED local dimming. This makes the screens look more vibrant, more saturated, gives great contrast and black levels with, yes, a mild bloom over lighter things in darker scenes. On top of that, the pancake lenses are far more superior than Quest 2's Fresnels, making everything look way sharper thanks to the large sweet spot. As much as this levels up the clarity, I wouldn't say the resolution earns the Pro title. For serious work stuff, you definitely want something way higher. But let me tell you, the controllers are awesome. Overall, they fit nicely in my hands, and when sweating, the material gives enough grip. The fact they track themselves is a pure luxury, but gone are the days of sometimes losing tracking. I mean, the footage I recorded in Rec Room tells you everything you need to know and demonstrates perfectly how accurate it is. What's even crazier is that if you place the headset on the floor and are then still holding the controllers in your hands, people can see them move from one spot to the other. Also, thanks to no tracking rings, you can bring the controllers closer together, and drifting, because of occlusion, is a thing of the past. The haptics are an upgrade too. They send out strong vibrations that are real satisfying and more detailed. The pressure sensor lets you grab and squeeze objects, and the sensing tech in the triggers is cool and all, but not sure what you are going to use this for. What does kinda suck is that the plastic piece on the rubber wrist strap easily slides down, not being very secure. But but you can twist them, take them out, and replace the strap with a stylus tip. They don't really click into the controllers, sitting loosely inside the holes, making a subtle ticking noise, so the quality and execution of these stylus tips feels cheap, but they do give more accuracy while making notes on the table or while drawing on a virtual whiteboard. It's not hard to lose them, making me wish they came in a pouch. So yeah, the controllers are an amazing piece of tech, especially for designers, but do have their trade-offs as well. I found them heavier in the front, they take a while to sync, which is super annoying. Sometimes they are not properly aligned, and according to the specs sheet, direct sunlight can damage them, making me wonder where the protection covers are. You'll have to charge these at least every 2 days or so, as the battery life is around 6 to 8 hours, which is not bad at all. If you're interested, you can actually buy them separately for $300 and pair them with the Quest 2, but would only get them if productivity is your main goal. For gaming, they seem unnecessary, as most Quest 2 titles are optimized for limited tracking anyways. The charging dock is one of my least favorite things. The magnetic pins are not really latching onto the hardware. More often than not, I have to go back to double check if everything is really charging. Especially getting the headset properly seated continues to be a struggle. What's more silly though is that the Pro cannot be charged when the protective or full face cover are on, showing that the accessories were just an afterthought. Ouch. Well, let's go back to the Pro then and talk about its mixed reality pass-through, the whole reason this headset was created in the first place. Compared to the Quest 2, it's a big step up. Instead of black and white, everything is in full color now, with the cameras in the front giving a great field of view. The pass-through is fully 3D, but currently its quality leaves a lot to be desired and doesn't look anything like what Meta advertised. Grabbing a drink from the fridge or making your way through the office to pick up your controllers is no problem, but if you want to read something from up close, everything is super distorted, making it impossible to use. Compared to how okay-ish things look from afar, makes me believe the depth estimation had an overdose of sweet baby rays. I mean, the colors are washed out, not being accurate to the real world. You see this black and white view shimmering through, giving a cross-eyed effect. The brightness is all over the place and doesn't adapt very well to day nor nighttime, filling your screens with grain and motion blur. I can totally see how some will get an eye strain from this or straight up motion sick. Funny that even though the Pico 4 is not being 3D, it's still having better looking pass-through for 3 times less the price than a Pro, and it's not even an enterprise headset. Anyhow, despite all these problems, it is a unique experience to see people in your physical space, as you can feel their presence. If you live abroad or work remotely and don't see your colleagues, friends or family that much, this is going to be a killer feature in the future. It will let you chat face to face, work and explore worlds together, or play casual games like Demeo, PokerStars. The possibilities are endless. That being said, I did try to use the pass-through mode in a handful of productivity apps, such as Horizon Workrooms, Immersed, Arkio, Nanome, Gravity Sketch, and also training ones like Piano Vision and Tribe XR. As long as the main focus is interacting with virtual things in front of you and the pass-through serving as a portal or subtle background, it's pretty awesome. But the moment the pass-through becomes the center point of the attention, it makes you want to turn it off, because the quality just isn't there. Another disappointing factor is that you manually have to map your room because of no depth sensor. The iPhone, iPad, HoloLens and Magic Leap can all do this automatically. I can't believe that Meta sells a mixed reality headset that's missing this crucial feature. Anyways, something that does work very well is the face and eye tracking. So I can be very happy, angry, frustrated, shocked, and more. Face and eye tracking are a glimpse into what the future will bring, because this will change the way we are going to socialize with each other from within the metaverse. You can be far more expressive, and it makes your avatar feel more alive. Sadly, no tongue tracking just yet, but hey, jokes aside, this is mostly beneficial to someone else, as you are not going to stare into a mirror all day. With the recent update of now being able to stream the face and eye tracking to PC, I do expect more realistic avatars that will hopefully trickle down to standalone, with maybe maybe, just maybe, full body tracking. Another awesome thing that you can do with the eye tracking is foveated rendering. This is a technique that reduces the rendering workload by greatly undercutting the image quality in the peripheral vision. Surprisingly enough, there is no business app supporting this right now. There is only Red Matter 2 that shows that it's pure witchcraft and that it will play an important role in the future of gaming and other markets. Having access to all this tech does make you question the privacy, right? According to Meta, they only collect the data required for your headset to work properly, so apps can't access images or videos without your permission. Total different subject, the speakers of the Quest Pro sound more clear and detailed than on Quest 2. It has clear low and high tones, but the bass could have been harder, with the spatial audio being the only real thing that continues to impress me. You're better off wearing a pair of wired headphones if you want to focus and when you are allowed to be in your own zone on the work floor. Because of the Halo strap, it's no problem wearing a pair of big or smaller headphones. I did test the Bluetooth as well, but there's too much of a delay. What's interesting is that the Pro has an array of 3 microphones versus 2 microphones on Quest, but here's the sound check. You're not going to believe this. This is what the microphone sounds like on the Quest Pro. And for comparison, this is what it sounds like on the Quest 2. Actually, I can be very brief about the Pro's battery. To me, the headset on average clocks in on around 2.5 hours of constant use, but you can stretch it a little by turning off the pass-through, face tracking and lowering the brightness. But I mean, that's not what you bought the headset for. When fully drained, it takes 1.5 hours to charge it, so yeah, it can only be used for short sessions of productivity, unless you want to hook it up to a cable, defeating the purpose of its ergonomic design. It's a lot of money for just 2.5 hours. I wish they had at least tried to push it to 4. If you are working in an industry where short burst work tasks are the norm, it could do the trick, but for longer sessions, this isn't it. Performance-wise, it is very impressive. The Pro can mostly run on a solid 72 or 90 Hz with face, eye and hand tracking enabled, while also dipping in and out of mixed reality. I did also try to push it to the limit in games, but the performance and loading times seem to be pretty on par with the Quest 2. Unless an app or game supports foveated rendering, it does not feel like an upgrade. But that's not all. The well-known performance issues from the Quest 2 do haunt the Pro as well, despite it being slightly faster. Such a shame. The overall software could seriously use an overhaul to make the UI more stable and snappier. The Pro's inside-out tracking does feel more reliable, with having a good memory of remembering your play spaces, but the moment you enter your home environment, you are always in for a surprise. This is why I wish Meta had waited for the new Snapdragon chipset, or had turned the Pro into a dedicated PC VR headset like the Vario, doubling down on the resolution and horsepower. And that brings me nicely to streaming the headset to a computer or laptop. You can run apps and play games with a cable, or use AirLink and Virtual Desktop to go full wireless. The Pro does have Wi-Fi 6E, but it's not coming out till 2023. Because of that, the experience is far from perfect, although during my playtests my frame rate was stable with an okay bitrate and no artifacts. It is a real shame that the Oculus PC software doesn't support foveated rendering, as this could take streaming to a whole new level. Hopefully it will in the future, but with Meta's focus not being PC anymore, I'm not so sure. Good to mention that for wired use, the cable clip that comes with the headset holds the cable firmly in place, but because of its flawed comfort, pulls the Pro down on one side, making it not sit straight on your face. Now it's time to answer the most important question, and that is, can you use the headset for work? Well, Pro's current library exists out of a moderate assortment of business and creative-focused first and third-party apps, with the highlights being Immersed, Horizon Workrooms, Figmin, Spatial, and Gravity Sketch. Some of the other apps I tried seemed to be in an experimental phase and were not ready for serious productivity, missing things like a streamlined UI, logical workflows, and not matching your exact needs. As a VR veteran myself, I struggle to understand how to use some of these apps, and can see how employees of a company who are not familiar with VR or AR at all will go through a real rough learning curve. If you work for a business that is looking for a very specific use case, chances are you are not even going to find it on the store. Instead, you have to invest into an experienced dev studio to first make the software that caters your work field and that meets the quality standards. Meaning that if you are a developer, this headset being the perfect opportunity to start building apps that companies want. The Pro definitely feels like a dev kit than a a ready out-of-the-box device to give to employees for training purposes and many other things. It could be considered for meetings and presentations, but personally don't completely replace my Teams and Zoom sessions just yet. It feels futuristic, but it's still easier to set up or join an ongoing call from my phone than doing it in workrooms. The face and eye tracking does make it more interesting, but with the current Horizon avatars, I'm still having a hard time listening to someone in Metaverse form. I do hope this is going to change with the collaboration between Microsoft and Meta, bringing Office to mixed reality in 2023, but right now it doesn't feel ready to compete with more mainstream ways of communication. In my opinion, the hardware and software limitations do outweigh those who are on the road a lot or work at a cubicle farm, wanting to expand their office space. If you have a laptop or a PC with a single monitor, you can surround yourself with additional virtual screens, and this can definitely improve your workflow. Next to seeing your physical keyboard by using the pass-through, you also have the option to connect one over Bluetooth, or completely take it to the next level by streaming your PC to the Pro from a remote location. Immersed Virtual Desktop and Horizon Workrooms are your go-to apps, but be aware they still have their own problems. So yeah, to wrap it up, as a VR enthusiast, it is very exciting to see how much progress has been made since the very first Rift came out, but doesn't take away that the Quest Pro is a device that came a little too late. With its many pros, cons and, well, steep price, it really depends on what you want to use it for. Plus, with the new chipset on the way, it may be smart to wait and see what the near future holds. If you are a developer, an artist, or early adopter who just can't wait and want to experience all of this tech now, then it might be worth checking this headset out, as it does have interesting features. I do agree, and I'm sure we'll get solid software updates in the coming months or so. But on the hardware side, yeah, I don't know, I wonder if it can stand the test of time. In a world where technology moves so fast, it already feels dated. So enterprise folks out there, I would wait and see what's gonna happen in 2023. I do expect a lot more next generation hardware coming out, and hopefully software too. As a gamer, I am most looking forward to the PlayStation VR 2 and Quest 3, keeping my fingers crossed that some of Pro's tech will make it to Meta's new gaming headset. And that's my Quest Pro review. I want to thank you so much for watching. If it gave you some new insights, if you thought it was entertaining, then make sure to slam that like button, and next to that, let me know in the comments below what you think of this headset. I'm very curious to hear what your stance is. And with that being said, until next time, see you in the Metaverse, and bye bye for now. Oh yes, that's right, for now.